Hey, hello there! I'm Brad Barton and welcome to 1.21 Geekawatts, an extremely low-tech look at the 1.21 most interesting stories in geek pop culture today. So last night, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. continued their post-Captain America the Winter Soldier plotline, which means that everything is a complete mess for the team and that the show has never been better. It's an absolute blast right now, especially if you've been watching it throughout. Amidst the double crosses were some delightful name drops, which reference some pretty obscure nooks and crannies of the Marvel Universe. So last night we heard two of those. Number one was Glenn Talbot of the U.S. Air Force. In last night's episode, we saw him briefly on a big monitor talking about how he was going to bring in a team to question the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. But comic book readers already know Glenn Talbot as a longtime military foe of the Hulk. He was even married to Betty Ross, which is Bruce Banner's main squeeze, for a little while in the comics. In fact, he was even played by Josh Lucas in the Ang Lee Hulk movie, so he's a relatively big character in the Hulk mythology. I suspect that we will be seeing this character again on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Another name was dropped that I kind of doubt that we're ever going to see again, but it was kind of an amusingly ridiculous Easter egg nonetheless. At one point, a character is reminiscing about Johnny Horton, who somehow ended up with lion's paws for hands. Okay, random. In fact, it is so random and specific a reference, certainly it has to relate to something, doesn't it? And yes, it does. A little bit of research turned up the fact that they were referring to a character called the Griffin. There he is, right there. Who clearly has a little bit more than just lion's paws going on. He also picked up wings and, a lion face, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. So I don't think we're going to see him on the show. Sadly, also no indication that we're ever going to see this character right here. He is called Headlock, which is unusual because he looks so photogenic, doesn't he? He deserves to be on the show, right? No. Horror movie enthusiasts, you might be interested to know that there is a new trailer for the film Deliver Us from Evil. This is a movie in which New York police officer Eric Bana looks into a strange series of crimes with the help of a priest, played by Edgar Ramirez from Wrath of the Titans. And it's plenty creepy. Although, by the time it is clear that this movie is going to be about possessions and exorcism, and is based on the actual accounts of NYPD Sergeant Ralph Sarchie, I will admit that my eyes rolled a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Perhaps the most horrifying aspect of this film, it is a horror movie, but both Olivia Munn and Joel McHale are to appear in this movie. It is so horrifying. I challenge you not to be drawn out of the movie when seeing these two very comedic performers in the midst of it. We'll see. The movie opens on July 2nd. The director of Deliver Us from Evil is Scott Derrickson, and this is not the first time that he has worked on a film which has dealt with exorcism. For today's trivia question, I want you to name the 2005 film that he worked on which dealt with incredibly similar subject matter. If you figure out the answer to that question, leave it in the comment section. The answer to yesterday's trivia question was Metropolis. And the first person who knew the correct response was Scott Finnick of Huntington, New York. Congratulations, Scott! You are on a roll, man. You win some mint-waxed tooth floss. There you go. Because dental hygiene is important. That's why. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. I always appreciate the chance to nerd out with you. If you enjoyed this bite-sized chunk of geekitude, please do share it with a nerdy friend and help spread the word. You can subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. And always feel free to reach out to me to say hello or to make story suggestions or just to say, I knew it was Metropolis, Brad. Everyone knew that one. I don't know. Because I like to hear from you, okay? That's all for today's 1.21 Geekawatts. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.